Well, hi there, and welcome back to another episode of the All Around Growth Podcast. My name is Rob Kaiser, and I am your host. Today is Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022, and this is episode number 471 of a show where you join me with my family on our small farm and homestead, where we talk about the five W's and how as we grow all around here on the homestead at York Meadow Farm. And today we are going to check in on our goals. That's right. We're going to do an episode on goal setting and a proven methodology to use in order to achieve the results that you are looking for, and oftentimes exceed your very own expectations. But before we get into all of that, let's take care of some housekeeping and mention the show sponsors. First of all, we have Food Forest Farms supporting the show with video and streaming. And almost daily, new videos are being added to the YouTube channel. So be sure to check that out at youtube.com/at all around growth and subscribe and see what's going on. You can also check out the live stream this Friday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we are going to be talking about gratitude and life. What are you grateful for? I'm going to spend that time talking about what I'm grateful for, field any calls from the audience, specifically the Telegram group. And if you want to participate in the show, join the Telegram group at t.me/allaroundgrowth, and you will find details about how to do so there. And as far as Food Forest Farm is concerned, yeah, big shout out to them for the support they provide to us to bring you the show the way that we do now. You can learn more about Food Forest Farms at foodforestfarms.com. They're a locally owned and operated beyond organic, bio-intensive city farm, coffee roaster, and more. So check everything out there for enhanced coffee and life experiences. foodforestfarms.com. The show is also brought to you in part by Instacart. And let's face it, there are many advantages to Instacart, including the convenience it provides. Some of the other benefits that you might not normally think about are the fact that it's an easy way for people to get groceries for those who are otherwise unable to shop in person, including older adults, people with physical disabilities, maybe people with epilepsy that can't drive for a period of time, people with limited access to transportation, you name it. In addition to all of those reasons, many of which were outlined by healthline.com, I personally like to use Instacart for the savings on time and just a little bit of convenience that it adds to my life, combined with the other food that I eat that's locally produced by friends and family. I supplement my diet in large part with food delivered from various stores via Instacart. So if you've been thinking about it, but you haven't really actually subscribed to an Instacart subscription, I'd encourage you to do so with the link in the show notes, which will not only benefit you with everything Instacart has to offer, but will also benefit the show by using that particular affiliate link. So it's a win-win-win. If you want to try something new to see how it can actually benefit you and your family, and you want to support the show, check out the link in the show notes. So let's get into the meat of the show today, which is a check-in on our goals. Now, we talk a lot about goals in this show. We set goals in the 7 different aspects of our life: financial, physical, personal development, family, spiritual, social, and career. And all of this comes from those 7 topics are outlined in the goal setting workbook that I use. And over the past 12 to 18 months, those 7 topics have become a core component of the structure of this show. And for example, Monday, we covered financial topics as it pertains to growth and development here on the homestead. We covered physical topics, also in part, and how it pertains to the homestead with regard to my parents and things like that. And today we're covering personal development and my approach to that in the form of goals and what we need to do to follow up on them once we've set them. So today we're going to talk briefly about setting goals. And I say briefly because we did this in depth recently in episodes. Well, in episode number 444, we talked about goals and setting the intention for your future. And that was kind of a touch on what do we do after we set our goals. Okay. And that was recorded on Monday, November 14th. The show prior to that, How to Find Purpose in Your Life, is about setting goals and titled How to Find Purpose in Your Life because when we go through this process, we inevitably find our purpose because we're looking at our life in balance, and we set career goals last because ideally our career should be a true reflection of the 7 aspects of our life. That's in an optimal situation. Oftentimes that's not the case. And if that's not the case for you and you're working a career that you're not happy with, then that's all the more reason, in my humble opinion, to take action and set goals in those 6 other areas of life so as to obtain the balance that you likely lack on account of the career that you have that you also have so much disdain for. So, again, episode number 464, goals and setting the intention for your future, was where we touched on this again. We've been talking about this a lot lately. And, for those of you who missed that episode, missed how to find your purpose in life, and maybe for those of you who are new to the show or just getting caught up, what I use to set goals is the Goal Setting Workbook by Dan Miller, which is linked to in the show notes. Now, this is a workbook that you can download for free. And I've talked about this in the past. I won't go too much into it, but we will talk a little bit about this today in the show. And what we are going to do is just take a look at this very briefly. And what I'm trying to do here is share my screen so that those who are watching on video can see exactly what I'm seeing. Now, what we want to do is this is what you're going to see when you download the workbook. It is a 20-page workbook that encourages us to understand that the best way to predict our future is to create it. And the way that we create it is setting goals and finding balance in life by setting goals in these 7 different aspects of life. We work them in order, beginning with financial, working to physical goals, personal development, which can include this whole process of setting goals itself. We have family goals, we have spiritual goals, we have social goals. And like I said, with regard to career, what's important to understand that our career is an outcome of knowing what we want in the other 6 areas. Our career should be a reflection of the life we want. Once we decide on the life that we want, it becomes obvious what kind of work embraces that. We want to help you plan your work around the life you want. I understand that some of this sounds a bit far-fetched, that some of this sounds unobtainable, right? That some of this may even just, I don't know. you may not think it's possible. And you know what? If you don't go through this process, you're right. Because this takes work. Finding and creating work and ultimately the life that we want takes work. It takes time, it takes patience, and moreover, it takes consistency with things like this. Now, when we go through this, we finally begin to understand that indeed the master in the art of living makes little distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body, his information and his recreation, his love and his religion. He hardly knows which is which. He simply pursues his vision of excellence at whatever he does, leaving others to decide whether he is working or playing. To him, he is always doing both. This is a quote by James Michener, and I firmly believe that working through this process of setting goals via the goal setting workbook will indeed empower you to become a master in the art of living. That is a bold claim, and I understand that you may not believe this, and if that's the case, well, that's unfortunate, but you have the ability to change that. You have the ability to change your life. You may feel discouraged at times because you've tried and you've failed. There's an old saying, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. Think about that. I don't really know what else to say other than this in terms of the goal setting workbook. Why I decided to do this episode today, checking in with goals, is because within the 48 Days Eagles community, and Dan Miller, author of this workbook, what he suggests is having this workbook complete by November 14th. Why November 14th? Because that's 48 days before the first of the year. So we get this done on November 14th. This is the way that the ideal scenario plays out, the way that I have done this. Had this done on November 14th, we put it away. We don't look at it for 2 weeks. We just let it run through the mental digester, if you will. Come December 1st, we take it out, we revisit it, we modify it, further identify the goals that we need to set, put more metrics in there, do whatever we need to do to tweak it a little bit. Say we take a couple of weeks to do that. We're done by mid-December. We've completed and written down our goals. By the time the holidays roll around, we don't have to think about the new year. But by the time the new year rolls around, we are ready to execute. We are ready to begin doing the work because, well, at that point, we may already have started on what it is that we want to achieve, what it is that we want to do in the next year. You see, so maybe you didn't get the message. Maybe you haven't done this yet. You still have time. And no matter when you're listening to this, whether it's now, today, November 23rd, 2022, a month from now in December, a year from now in 2023, whenever, there is no, if the first of the year comes around and you haven't done this, you don't have to say, oh, well, I missed the deadline and I guess I'll have to wait till next November to set my goals. No, it's that kind of thinking that's gotten you in the position where you are right now. If you think this methodology is only appropriate for the new year, this is part of the problem, because this becomes who we are. You are what you think about. You become what you think about. Earl Nightingale. We see Earl Nightingale quotes all throughout this goal setting workbook. So check it out. It's free. What have you got to lose? The link will be in the show notes. The link will be in the description. And if you like this and you want more of this, one thing that you can do if you're seeking accountability and some ways to, connect with others of like mind, first of all, download the goal setting workbook, which when you click on the show notes or the link in the show notes to the goal setting workbook, you simply input your name, your email address, and the button that says that you're ready to get started. That will be delivered to you, and you will be on your way to working through this. Now, if you want more and you want to connect, like I said, with other like-minded people, what you want to do is get involved with the 48 Days Eagles community. Now, the 48 Days Eagles community is not open for membership at this time. There's a cap on how many people can get involved at any one given time. I've been a member of this community for a couple of years now, I suppose. And I really do believe that involvement with this community and these people who don't necessarily think like me. I don't want to be around people that think like me. I want to be around people that think. I don't want you to think like me. I just want you to think. And involvement in a community like this, with such a broad and diverse group of people, all working on some kind of individual hustle, exposes me to new ideas, new thought patterns, new belief systems, and new ways of approaching life, much like the goal setting workbook that we talked about and I shared with you. So if you want to participate in more, or you just want to participate, period, then I'll link to this, which will allow you to get on the waiting list so that you can be notified when membership opens up and also learn more about it. There's two groups that you can learn more about. One is the Eagles Elite and the other is the Eagles Community. I am a member of the community. And you know what? Quite frankly, I look forward to the day when I can become a member of the Eagles Elite, because at that point in time, things will be operating in such a way that I will need that in order to maintain my sanity as the business grows and thrives beyond my own expectations. And that could be the farm business, that could be my own business, that could be new enterprises that are being thought of and generated up as just ideas now. But we all start somewhere. And if your somewhere is if you're not happy with your somewhere now, then start with the goal setting workbook. If you're feeling discouraged, if you're miserable in your job, if you're a new business owner or have been running a business for quite some time and you're feeling lost, the 48 Days Eagles community will give you an opportunity to give yourself a new beginning tomorrow. So, and if I just said the 48 Days Eagles community, I meant the goal setting workbook. I kid you not. This can give you the framework that you've been lacking that will empower you to change your life. So check it out. Like I said, you've got nothing at all to lose. I'll link to this in the show notes. I will also link to everything else that was discussed in the show notes, show sponsors, things like that. And I understand that many of us are actively preparing for the holidays. And we are too here on the homestead. We're doing so a little bit differently, but we're making preparations nonetheless. Holidays can be a stressful time of year. And with that said, I hope that you guys have the best of holidays tomorrow. We're going to do a bit of a Thanksgiving Day special tomorrow. It's not going to be anything extraordinary, but I might talk about the day itself, the history of it. I'm not real sure, to be honest with you. But one thing I want to avoid tomorrow is talking, which I really want to talk about, is, just feeling grateful for all of what we have in life, giving thanks. Well, that's what we're going to do Friday on the live stream. So if you can, I would really encourage you to tune in for the live stream on Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you out there in the Telegram group, I will definitely be sharing the link with you so that you can call in the latter half of the show and we can talk shop about all the things in life that we're grateful for. And you can share with me the things in life that you're grateful for, whether they be physical, financial, things that you're grateful for with regard to the personal development that you're exploring in your life, your family, your spiritual life, your social life, your career, whatever it is that you're grateful for. Feel free to tune in, share with me, share with everybody else watching, be a part of the show, be a part of the community. And I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow on Thanksgiving. And I definitely look forward to the live stream on Friday. So until then, guys, this is Rob Kaiser, and thank you.